you know. So that's another one of the deals that I use out there. Uh, of course, like I said, you can't never have enough tackle. This is spoons, okay? Silver spoons and rooster tails and stuff like this. A white bass box, specifically for white bass, okay? I don't do it a whole lot, but sometimes if I ever get a call that the white bass are running, I got that. Also, for white bass and crappie, brim and other things, real small swim baits, super tiny swim baits. Okay, I love to get crawfish colors, something close to nature. That's a natural bait. It's a crawfish looking swim bait. All these little bitty tiny swim baits. Smallest rattle trap you probably ever want to see. But that dude will kill the white bass if it's what they want at the time. I have these real small blade runners, super tiny blade runners. Awesome bait, kills the white bass. Of course, if they want bigger, I have bigger, that with an orange belly, black back, and silver side, deadly for them. Okay, if the black bass are there, naturally crawfish colored crankbaits. Then of course, smaller Rapala stick baits. Shouts out to Rapala, #1 stick bait out there. Swear by it. Asked everybody fishing the Galveston Causeway this year, stick bait. Deadly. Okay. Now, moving right along, one of the most important things, and something I should have said first, a personal flotation device. It is against the law to be kayaking and not have this thing on. Really. They're just, the Coast Guard, the game wardens are not keen on it, but as kayaking is getting popular, it's going to happen, guys. And plus, your life is the most important thing to you. Now, I had a lady, forget her name right now, Lady Z, Lady D. She commented and said she doesn't like these because what if it doesn't pop out and inflate? And I agree with her. I do. I can swim real well. I am in good shape. But I did flip in my kayak, which is why I went to a pro angler and got out of my Outback. I got flipped in the surf, and this thing did deploy. Okay. One time they deployed in the car, I didn't have it on, and only one thing came off, and I think it was because it wasn't the resistance of my body here to make both of them pop out. But if you come out with me, a light, a horn or a whistle, and a life jacket, okay? I stress those 3 things. You must have them. I didn't do it in any invite videos I'm doing now because most of the guys in the kayak fishing group, which is another thing I'm going to cover right now while I'm doing this, I have a kayak fishing group. All you have to do is message me your information. I get you into the group. There's maybe 20-something of us right now. Somebody's going to be going fishing. That way you have the comfort of being out with a group of guys versus out there by yourself and getting into a dangerous situation. I think that quickly about covers it. I can go grab the reels if I wanted to. I can go over the rod that I'm using because I had to step it down a notch because when I flipped my kayak that time out there, I lost 2 or 3 of my best rods, which was a Coastal Special castaway rod and reel company. To replace that rod and get another 8'6" Coastal Special, $289, buddy. That's what I'm looking at. That's why I went to a Falcon 7'6". I get these at Academy. They're a little under $100. Super sensitive, great responding rod. That's what I'm using right now is a 7'6" rod. I love the longer rod. Gives you more castability. Gives you the ability to put more fight on a fish. He's fighting the rod, not your hand as much. You know, just some things I'm covering. And what I did with the battery, I know I'm bouncing all around here, but you know, hey, that's why it takes me so long to get ready to go fishing, because I got to go through all of this and brainstorm to feel like what the fish are going to be biting. My battery goes in this deal right here. It's in my kayak. I drilled a small hole, sealed it, had my wires coming out, I want to go grab this right now, but I don't want to leave the camera. Heat shrink all of my wiring going to my fish finder. I don't have lights on now, but if I ever do, boom, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have that heat shrink on it. Just heat shrinking over your wires and having good connections is essential to not having to constantly go in and rewire. That salt water will get to your wiring no matter what you do. Heat shrink is about the best thing you can do. A heat gun from Harbor Freight and you're on your way. Put that heat shrink over, put your connections together, slide this heat shrink over your connections, heat the ends, coat it real good, boom, you're in. They also have flexible super glue that you could put on the end after you, on the end, each end of the heat shrink after you got that on there, and you could go with that. I think I've covered everything except, of course, I swear by #1 live croaker hook. As hard as sheephead or the hook, I hooked those with it. I caught those Spanish mackerel yesterday, never got cut off. Somehow or another, that hook goes right to the mouth. Don't have to worry about them biting the line or biting it short. I caught every Spanish mackerel that hit me yesterday. So that's one other thing that I use out there, guys. And I think that about covers it, man. Once again, thanks so much for watching, man. Thanks for all the support. You know, if anything that I could help anybody out with, that's what Hooked Up is all about. I'm going to try to get you hooked up. Oh, watch out, Top Dollar with the Go Free Call. I got a hook down here. Another thing, I'm using this, but Captain Coffee makes his own corks. I love those corks he makes because they have more beads and more clacking. I buy the corks that only have this. I tie my own line on them. That way I can make the length that I want, on leader, okay? And a little bitty small spit shot on the end with the #1 live croaker hook. This is, say, 2.5 foot. This leader I have on here now. I probably should have been shorter sometimes yesterday. Didn't try changing up the length. But with all those swells, it seems like I maybe should have been deeper. But I love to buy corks, not this particular one. There's others that I use are on my kayak, the little slender ones. But corks that just have this part and you tie your own line to. For me, that works perfectly. And what I do, I'm not using it, I just simply go back and forth with it like this. And go right back into the cork with the hook. And it's ready to go. Drop it in any tackle box or whatever. It's out of the way if I want to change up and go to that. Oh, one other thing I want to cover while I'm at it. Hopefully it's in this one here, or it should be in the grab box. Maybe it's in here. This is mainly all my charging stuff. It's a swivel, and I think you guys see me advertise that swivel. Don't have any in here. Yeah, I do. Luckily I do. I love going with this swivel. Not offshore because you don't want a shiny, you want a black. Or you could just spray these black here. Super strong swivel. 100-pound test, but super small. Okay. VMC, stainless steel rolling swivel. The size is size 6. Okay. 100-pound test. Super small. And what I do is every one of my lines with braid, I tie the braid onto the swivel, and then I have a shock leader. 17-pound mono fluorocarbon or 20-pound mono or fluorocarbon. I was out with a guy at Captain Coffee, and he was catching trout, and I was throwing my lures and all of that. The same lures he was throwing some. Was not getting hooked up. After the 6 fish, I went ahead and incorporated a leader, and I started catching fish. It made all the difference in the world. It was in Barnett Bay. Don't really fish that area, but I was over there with him. He fishes it. So this, I think, is a key element. If you're not catching fish, you don't want to tie your lure straight to your braid. You put this small swivel, put your shock leader. I like them long. I got a long rod. Boom. I tie my stick base to it, my jigs, my, everything that I throw, top waters, I'll tie to the shock leader, the swivel. It's going to be great for you guys that can't throw bait casters until you buy that lose that I'm talking about. It's going to be great for you guys because, this swivel with a spinning reel, you're not going to have that line twist and stuff like that. So I think I've about covered everything, guys. Now I got to go put all this stuff up. I don't feel like it, but I didn't even break out all the tackle box. All the tackle box. This. Tackle box. Offshore. Spinner baits. Swim baits. Corkies. Got some beautiful colors in the corkies. That chartreuse corky, I've been waiting to put it out there. Just, always not knowing what to grab because I got so many tackle boxes, okay? But I am going to the seal boxes, guys. They have these at Academy. They're the deep well seal boxes. They hold a lot. You don't have to worry about your lures rusting up and stuff like that, man. Just, tons of tackle because you never, ever, ever